Hi, Tom Iselin here, and welcome to First Things First. This is day 20 of Boot Camp, a leadership guide to building a gold standard nonprofit. Today, I'm concluding this series on how to build a get-it-done culture by providing a few key takeaways you'll want to keep in mind when building your culture. As you've learned over the last 9 episodes, a strong, well-defined culture is one of the key cornerstones you must put in place if you want to build a high-performance, gold standard, get-it-done nonprofit. Once your culture is in place and functioning well, it becomes a collective mindset, a moral beacon for all that your nonprofit says and does, and it becomes a powerful and unifying force to propel you to your dreams. I'm not going to kid you. Building a culture of any type, board, staff, or organizational, is going to take some work. Defining a culture is a bit of a challenge because culture is an abstract concept, like happiness and beauty, which is why it's so easy to spot, but difficult to define. For example, it's easy to spot a toxic work environment or a boardroom filled with disengaged board members. You can see that the culture is unhealthy. But defining a healthy staff culture or board culture is a much different story. Culture, as you recall, is the outward expression of how and why a nonprofit operates. It answers the fundamental questions: what does it mean to be part of your organization? What does it mean to be part of your board? What does it mean to be on your staff? What does it mean to be a volunteer? Remember, your mission tells people what you do. Your vision tells people where you're going. But your culture tells people who you are. It tells people what you stand for. It tells people what you believe. This is important to understand because if you don't know collectively who you are, what you stand for, or what you believe, how can you effectively fulfill your mission? How can you expect to end up where you want to go? Many nonprofits hobble along and never seem to hit their stride and achieve success because they don't have a culture. The reason why it's imperative to develop a well-defined culture is because it creates a unifying force, an ethos that yokes the hearts and minds and actions of everyone connected with the nonprofit to fulfill its mission. It creates a holistic environment, a prevailing spirit that permeates everything that's said and done. There's lots of cultural elements you can use to define your culture, but the 3 most important are guiding beliefs, standards, and behaviors. Next, you'll want to come up with some specific, descriptive words and phrases, cultural facets, that help you define and symbolize your cultures. Words such as excellence, accountability, teamwork, impact, and honest communication. When defining your culture, you'll want to think in terms of simplicity. So think of facets that best define the essence, the ethos of the type of culture you would like to have. To make your culture easy to grasp for people, you'll want to write a 2 or 3 sentence culture statement that is a narrative of the facets you defined. After that, you'll want to come up with ways to reflect your culture in day-to-day operations and in people's behavior. You'll also want to find ways to celebrate your culture by talking about it at fundraising events, board meetings, or at social activities involving board members and staff. And last, since people forget easily, you'll want to come up with ways to remind people of the culture you've adopted. You can write your culture statement on a wall, talk about your culture in annual reports, share it at volunteer training sessions, or discuss it at your strategic planning retreat. So, what would your nonprofit have to do to define and adopt an organizational culture or a board culture? What can you do in the next week to start the process? To help you kick off the process, I have a book and a workbook that will walk you through the process. Also, I facilitate workshops on how to build cultures. If you're interested, give me a call. Otherwise, visit my website for additional First Things First training videos and books. And don't forget to write me. Ask me a question or tell me what you would like to see on the show. Until next time, remember to do what's right for your nonprofit, not what's convenient or easy. Hoo-yah! First things first on location here. doing a little environmental cleanup, reducing the fire risk, having some fun, getting a lot of exercise. So remember, do what's right for your nonprofit, not what's convenient or easy, and join me on my next show where I promise it won't be a chainsaw going, and we'll have a lot of fun. Thanks. See you next time.